All right, y'all, Matthew chapter 12. What does Matthew chapter 12 mean? Matthew 12 followed Jesus' teaching in chapter 11, where he mourned over people in those cities rejected him. Here he once again comes into conflict with local religious leaders. These mostly involve the ultra legalistic, tradition minded Pharisees. That's a description. But at this point in Jesus' ministry, they had begun to amplify their attacks, accusations, and attempt to trap Jesus into saying or doing something they could use against him. Jesus and his disciples are walking through a field of grain on the Sabbath, apparently on their way to the synagogue. The hungry disciples pluck heads of grain and eat them as they go along. While eating the grain is permissible according to the Old Testament law, it violates the Pharisees' traditional rules about what counts as work on a Sabbath day. They confront Jesus, accusing his disciples of violating the fourth commandment. Matthew 12, 1 through 2. In response, Jesus poses a series of questions. These show that the Pharisees' man-made standards for working on the Sabbath day is faulty. Therefore, their accusations is empty. God's laws are meant to be followed, but they are also meant to be understood. Just as God's law mean more than avoiding only physical sin, Matthew 5:27 to 28, they also are not meant to prevent men from doing good when the situation requires it. Going even further, Jesus declares himself Lord of the Sabbath, Matthew 12:3 and 8. Afterwards, but on the same day, Jesus and his disciples enter the synagogue. The Pharisees have set Jesus up. A man with a withered hand is presented, and they ask Jesus if it is lawful to heal on the Sabbath. Jesus again emphasizes mercy and insists it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. He heals the man rather than learning and repenting. The Pharisees deepen their conspiracy to destroy Jesus. Matthew 12:19 through 14. Jesus temporarily withdraws through the crowd. He keeps following him, though the crowd keeps following him. Matthew references a passage from Isaiah about Israel and applies it to Jesus as the Messiah. Matthew 12:15 through 21. A demon-possessed man is brought to Jesus. Because of the demon, the man cannot speak or see. Jesus heals him, and the man dramatically begins to do both. Those in the crowd ask if maybe Jesus is the son of David, meaning the Messiah. This is exactly the response those miracles are intended to provide